For me, what this really about is you notice all of your ants follow the same path, do the same thing, go backwards and forwards without being managed. It's about building the foundation of the house again. It's about building the standard operating procedures that allows a team to function without me needing to be present. Most founders are out there paying $10,000 a month for business masterminds, while the most sophisticated scaling manual ever written is sitting on their nightstand gathering dust. If you want to outmaneuver your competition in 2026, stop looking at the latest trends and start looking at the 3,000-year-old tech stack found in Proverbs. As you all know, Proverbs was written by King Solomon, the richest man who ever lived. It's found within your Bible, and it's King Solomon's guidance to his son about how his son should inherit his kingdom, the kingdom of Israel. It talks about everything from health to wealth to relationships. And in this video, I want to talk about how you, the Christian business owner or Christian founder, can go and find 5 new secrets that will help you unlock Proverbs to a new level for yourself. So let's step into it. Secret number 1 is what I like to call the multi-advisor algorithm. I base this on Proverbs 15:22, the verse that says, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed." You see, most of us fail as founders and as business owners because we're acting as lone wolves. The secret isn't just to have a mentor, it's to build a personal board of directors. Now, you can do this in many ways, and I'm going to share with you the few that I like to use personally. The first is I have my biblical board of directors. That is the significant figures within my Bible who I can sanity check ideas about the business of. From Jesus himself, who actually has got the most immaculate business plan built out through how his life was constructed and how he lived his life, to Solomon, the richest man who ever lived, to Daniel, to Jacob, to Abraham, and the list just goes on. They're my biblical board of directors. And whenever I'm struggling, I go and consult them and go read about them and spend time with them and go and find out, well, what is it that they would do? I then have a worldly group of directors who are out of my reach. They are people who I can go and find information from, and yet I might not be able to personally sit down and have a coffee with them. So people like Bill Johnson or Chris Valentin from the Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry feature in my personal board of virtual directors that are out of my reach at this point in time. As is people like the business influencer and business magnate Patrick Bet-David. Again, out of my reach. And then I have my actual personal board of directors. They're made up of people who I could pick up the phone to and call right now. They're people like one of my coaches, my therapist, my pastor, a couple of other pastors I can reach out to, a couple of billionaire clients who I could reach out to and sanity check ideas of, my accountant, so on and so forth. And so do you need a mentor, a mastermind, and a coach? Yes, but they need to form one part of your personal board of directors, or they need to be able to offer you the entirety of your personal board of directors where they feature as one part, which is what we do within Kingdompreneur. So in 2026, I want to encourage you to have a council stack, one person for spiritual alignment, one person for technical scaling, and at least one person for legal and financial integrity, who are all believers like you, but equally you can go and access them immediately for a coffee. And then why not go and take on having your biblical stack of directors who you can go and seek for your spiritual, technical, and financial and legal guidance. The secret number 2 that I've been working with is found in Proverbs 21:5, and I call this the due diligence speed limit. Proverbs 21:5, as I'm sure you know, says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as the haste leads to poverty." You see, we live in a world of move fast and break things, but Proverbs says haste leads to poverty. And so what I like to think about is this strategic diligence. Before pivoting or launching a new thing, I like to run it through what I call friction tests. These tests involve usually running and sanity checking these 3 things off a series of people. I have a series of people within the Kingdompreneur team, Peter and Kurt being 2. I have a few customers within the Kingdompreneur customer base that I check this off. And then I have my own coaching, and as I mentioned previously, maybe 1 or 2 of my board of directors. This allows me to move fast because I can access all of these people today. But what it allows me to do is build breathing time to go and identify the red flags and problems and ensure I'm moving in biblical alignment forwards and not into a trap that the enemy has laid out for me to fall into. Number 3 is what I like to call my asset sequence strategy. I draw this out of Proverbs 24:27. Put your outdoor work in order and get your fields ready. After that, build your house. You see, so many of us as founders spend our money on the house. You know, the fancy office, the branding, the luxury car, the wonderful clothes, all these things before we've secured the field. And in this case, the field is the reoccurring revenue and cash flow. You see, we're trying to build the house without having the foundation in place, and the foundation is cash flow. And so what we need to do is we need to decide to go, before we invest in the house and the walls, we need to go and invest our time and our effort into ensuring that our production capacity is sure and guaranteed. You know, for many of you out there, if you're working in the tech world, maybe how do you make your minimum viable product profitable before you go and dump $5 million or $500,000 in to try and having the perfect solution, even though you haven't actually sanity checked it on the thing that matters most, and that is how many customers will buy it, how often, and how cheaply can you acquire and how easily can you acquire those customers in volume. You see, only once that production capacity is built and proven, not just on paper, but as in purchasing, people are willing to easily trade with their hard-earned money for your product, then we should start thinking about, well, you know, what does the office need to look like? My office that I'm sat in now at one point in time had no roof, no door, and no solid floor. And yet here it is today with double glazing, lighting, power, internet, doors, windows, insulation, ceiling, so on and so forth. I started off humbly and proved before I reinvested. Next, I want to go and talk to you about the secret that I'm working on out of Proverbs 22:1. A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. What I like to refer to this to is my relational capital hedge. In this AI-driven, automated world, trust is the only currency that can't be inflated. You know, it doesn't really matter how AI-driven and automated your world gets, unless you can build relational capital and reputation with your customer base, you actually don't have anything more than a good idea at best. So I want you to go and do something called a relational capital balance sheet, right? Where you go and write down all of the people who you've got relationships with, and you benchmark that out of 1 to 7. 1 being, they're not likely to pick up the phone or answer me if I call them, but they would kind of know who I was, maybe. 7 being, if I phone this person, they will drop everything this instant to pick up the phone and talk to me. What that means is you know whether you've got great relational capital or not, and it's your relational capital that will carry you on every step of your journey, even when you struggle. It's your relational capital that gives you your good name that money cannot buy. And my last secret that I like to consider is the ANT system of operations. We of course take this from Proverbs 6:6-8. The verse says, "Go to the ant, it has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in the winter." Sorry, stores its provisions in the summer. I'm losing my mind. This modern secret is the secret to your self-governing system. An ant's organization doesn't need micromanagement. It needs clear objectives and shared culture. For me, what this really about is, you notice all of your ants follow the same path, do the same thing, go backwards and forwards without being managed. It's about building the foundation of the house again. It's about building the standard operating procedures that allows a team to function without me needing to be present. In fact, our latest full-time employee who's starting in the middle of January 2026, 50% of her job is going to be building these out so that we can scale at speed and not lose everything through the game of telephone, where I say to you the word purple, and after you've communicated it to 8 people down the line, they get to barking frog, and we don't quite know how they got there. That's where most businesses fall apart when they scale, is they haven't stopped to solidify the foundation by building operating procedures to ensure that anybody can pick up the manual and go. This is the difference between owning a job within your business and being the owner of an enterprise that can scale and grow. These systems embed kingdom logic. The world says move fast and break things. Kingdom logic says diligence over haste. The world's wisdom says fake it till you make it. The kingdom logic says create a good name because it will bring great riches. Worldly wisdom would say leverage debt to show success. Kingdom logic says establish your revenue source before you build the house of luxury. And so I want you to go and focus on these secrets for you, to go and focus on how you go and embed these 5 secrets into what it is you do every day. And if nothing else, read the verses from Proverbs every day and ask yourself, how am I doing these in my business? Because the richest man who ever lived, King Solomon, wrote them for you for a specific reason.